Welcome back, everybody, to TV Sports 27 and Season 21 of the Utah Utes Dynasty. We have dropped down to number 2. We're going to look at everything. We're going to look at our rosters. If you want to see what happened in the offseason, the episode is going to be up on our Patreon page. It's a 1-hour long episode, so sign up. Patreon.com/tvsports27. We lost our offensive coordinator. We lost our defensive coordinator. We did conference realignment to match what happened in real life. So we got all new conferences. We're also doing a new system where we got one mega conference and 4 other of the super conferences. If you want to see how all that breaks down, sign up on Patreon. Check out that episode. But in the meantime, we're going to look real quick before we jump into. You can see our new offensive defensive coordinators here. Lamont McFarland, Micah Jordan coming in. McFarland, he's a youngin'. He's only a level 1. So that's going to be a rough go of it for him to try to deal with the situation. We lost one of our coordinators to Texas A&M, so we might have a revenge schedule on the list coming up here. So let's look at the preseason polls. We dropped down to number 2. We're on a 36-game winning streak. So Ohio State, they put Ohio State, who we beat. We beat Ohio State in the national championship last season. The committee put them at number 1. The disrespect there. Then you got Utah. So conference realignment, keep an eye out because a lot of the conferences are going to be different. We're trying to match what is going to be happening in real life. So make note of all of that. Yes, we still have a Pac-12, but they're not the power Pac-12. They're part of this new super group of 5 conference in the West Division out west, in the Pacific Division, I suppose, where there's going to be one group of 5 champion, which will go either to the college football playoff or one of the New Year's 6 bowl games. So they are in that mix there. So all that, patreon.com/tvsports27 if you want to look at that episode. Quick look at the Heisman watch. Bill Bradford, who is coming back for his senior year. Kind of surprising for a running back. He'll be back. He's your top Heisman candidate for the Utah Utes. So we got at least 2 seasons. We're going to come back and play here. Let's look at our depth chart as well, because we got the new college football game coming out. So we got Andrew Cross back. We got Zach Hall back as well. Cross going to be our starter. He's on a hot streak. SK Money is in the house in the chat. He is on a hot streak. Joe Mason might be the starter next year. We also got some redshirt. It doesn't show us the redshirt players, but we got a young recruit coming in that is going to be redshirted. So you got Aaron Price. We're going to swap Aaron Price with Bill Bradford because he's been the guy. He's never been higher ranked than Aaron Price, but he's always been better than him. Jason Newton back for his senior year. Tommy Singleton as well. And then you got moving up in the rankings, Lewis Gardner and Jim Perkins. Jim Perkins, a sophomore, is going to have to kind of step up here. On the tight end side, Brian Baldwin back. So this might be our best bet to get one more kind of solid year. We didn't lose too much on defense. Still got Eric Lambert, Lee Anderson as well coming back. But we're going to lose. You're seeing a lot of the names that we are going to lose next season because we do have a lot of seniors. Linebacker, you got Brandon Charles in there. Joe Davis back for another year as well. Jason Lyles, John Barrett, you remember some of these names. Kicking wise, Richardson is back as well. So that's kind of a look at what you got. So in the chat, SK Money, he helped us out. We started off the season. The brand new Big 12 is going to look a lot different. We have gone undefeated 2 years in a row, 36-game winning streak. What we got. You know what? I'm going to plug it for Patreon. If you want to see what the entire schedule looks like, patreon.com/tvsports27. Sign up at any level that you like, and you guys can check out what the entire schedule looks like, top to bottom, in the brand new Big 12. So that's a little plug ski for Patreon. Any level, you get that bonus episode. We're kicking off, though, with a tough one, and this was one SK Money doing the big challenge. He's making it hard on us. So we lost Nebraska. Nebraska went to the Big 10 like they are in real life. And SK Money wanted to see us play Nebraska one more time to send them off the right way out of the Big 12. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to kick off because we lost Texas, Nebraska, Oklahoma to conference realignment. A lot of the ranked teams, our schedule got a lot easier. So we wanted to kick it off with a tough team here. And oddly enough, when we were a part of the Pac-12 or the Pac-16 previous, actually one of the worst losses we ever had, and I'm going to get you the official score, one of the worst losses we ever had was against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So all of this is up on our Patreon page as well. We have all these old previous schedules listed out, but we did a neutral site game. I'm going to look for it. Give me a moment here. I'm going to find it. It was one of the worst defeats. Yes, it was season 13. This is season 21. And we played in Denver, which is actually the new location, the Big 12 Championship, no longer in Cowboys Stadium. It is going to be in Denver, so we're switching that up. All the other conference championship places are still the same. ACC still in Charlotte, SEC still in Atlanta, and the Big 10 still in Indianapolis. But in season 13, we lost to Nebraska, neutral site game in Denver. Actually, a similar schedule that I'm looking at, the kind of what we're doing here. We lost 62-21, one of the worst losses I've had in my run with Utah. So hopefully that will not be the case here again. We also lost to Bowling Green. That was the same year our offensive coordinator went to Bowling Green. He beat us 42-41. We did get payback the next 2 weeks, though, so we were able to handle that situation there. So, per SK Money, we're going to try to get revenge on that neutral site game and schedule Nebraska. They are number 8. We are number 2. This is going to be one of the toughest tests of the season because we don't have West Virginia on the schedule, which is the other ranked team. So we're going to jump into it. Let's get ready. 36-game winning streak on the line. Are you ready? SK Money, he's been itching for this. Let's go. We're going to go all black here. We're going to go all black for this one to kick off the season the right way in Cowboy Stadium. On the Nebraska side, what do we got here? They also got, they got kind of an alternate, right? They got, I thought they had like a black, yeah, this Adidas strategy. Is that going to be too much black if we do that? Oh, they don't even have. Teams do go kind of crazy. Let's do it. Teams go crazy in these games. I don't know what's the better look. Let's go with that. Let's give both sides a crazy look, because for kickoff games, teams always do that. I don't think we've seen this look. We've seen the other look for Nebraska. So let's jump into it. We'll let it load and we'll jump back in on the back end. And we are officially here. So we were going to do, yes, SK Money. We were almost going to do the Chick-fil-A kickoff because Atlanta is where we won the national title. SK Money said do it in Texas. Nebraska, Utah in Texas. That's a good Andrew Cross. Andrew Cross, your boy Andrew Cross is back. That is right. Andrew Cross is here. So 2 evenly matched squads, a top 10 matchup to kick off the year. Big 10 versus Big 12, now separate conference foes. And we're doing it at the former home of the Big 12 championship. That is now in Denver. Walmart, they built the new stadium out there. They're doing all kinds of fancy stuff. But what a way to kick off the year. 36-game winning streak on the line. The last 2 years, Utah 15-0. And the last loss that the Utah Utes had, I actually think, let me look here. Again, patreon.com/TBSports27. The last loss that the Utah Utes suffered was in season 18 against Nebraska, 42-29. That was the last time Utah lost 36 games ago. So not only Nebraska in season 18 taking the L, but we also, last time we played a conference championship with Nebraska, or not a conference championship, but a neutral site game with Nebraska, we also took the big L as well. So here we go, kicking off season 21, Nebraska, Utah, three-peat. Yes, sir, a three-peat is on the line. and a lot on the line. As we said, the last team to knock off Utah. This is actually a good storyline. Good pick from SK Money. The last team to knock off Utah 36 games ago. This Utah team, and the last time a neutral site game we played in Denver. It was one of the biggest blowouts here for the Utah Utes. So number 8, number 2, kicking it off. Marshall, your starting quarterback, and it's incomplete pass. So Ryan Marshall immediately starting things off, throwing it into the turf. Three-peat. We have 5 national titles over 18 years here at Utah, back-to-back, and on a 36-game winning streak. Marshall trying to run it, and he's going to get driven back. 2-yard sack for Ryan Marshall. Now, I'll get the rosters. We're kind of just learning these players on the fly and trying to remember from last season. I believe that was Joe Johnson, right? That was number 50, but it's already 3rd and 12 for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So we're starting off. How's the sound? Sound good? Sound level good for SK Money? Marshall under duress, throwing it up into double coverage, and the Nebraska Cornhuskers, number 8, who left for the Big Ten, they go 3 and out here on the opening drive. So I need to turn the volume down a bit. Is the volume good? I think the volume's good. Maybe just touch it down just a little bit. But yeah. So we got Bill Bradford back returning kicks. I didn't necessarily set that up, but we did lose our stellar kick returner, Mr. Newton, to the senior. He's a senior in the NFL draft. So there's Bill Bradford. And yes, Andrew Cross stepping out. He has been with this team as a freshman and has only lost 1 game in his collegiate career over 3 years, but still much maligned, much debated. The 200 section. This is Jerry World. There's a 500 section going nuts here. So Bill Bradford, a Heisman candidate as well. But yes, it is Andrew Cross coming in 1 more year, and then we got a highly recruited quarterback for next season, which would be our last season there. So here we go, 2nd down, and Andrew Cross to throw it, and look at that, delivers it, and there is Lewis Gardner, who is stepping up in the rosters here with some of our graduated seniors. But how about Andrew Cross? First pass in Jerry's world on the money to silence all the haters. Good start there for the Utah Utes, 3 and out, and opening it up with that drive. And I think, Utah's got to be favorites to complete another unbeaten season if they get through Nebraska here. So you credit Utah going out, making this neutral site game to play it here. Coming in with the all-black unis, the black jerseys. Nebraska as well. Got some alternate unis going on here. Shout out to our Patreon supporters again. Andrew Cross. Oh, Cross gets thrown down for the quarterback sack. If you want to check out the off-season, an hour-long off-season conference realignment, the coaching carousel, recruitment stuff. We didn't really touch too deep into the recruitment stuff, but you can take a look at that. Recruitment, conference realignment, all that stuff, coaching carousel, a 1 hour long bonus up on Patreon. We'll have it up there for you guys, for our Patreon members. And here we go, 3rd and long, and Cross is going to go to the end zone, and it's incomplete, looking for Singleton. So the sack kind of doing in the Utah Utes there, and Utah will have to punt this one away. We are also going to do our bonus show, which is something we do for our Patreon members. So after this, if you guys, if you're interested in just what Utah's doing, you can hang out here on YouTube, on Twitch, and get all caught up on Utah games. But if you want to see what other teams are doing in college football, all the scores, all the results, the polls, the stats, the Heisman Watch, all of that, we do a bonus episode, and that is going to be up on our Patreon page. We do a college post-game wrap-up, and that is exclusively to TV Sports on Patreon. So sign up if you want to get a recap of the top 25 kind of conference alignment, where everyone's going to be, Heisman, stats, all that kind of stuff. I don't know who TBD is. some kind of glitch that's going on. Hope it's not going to break the game. But Marshall on a screen out to Landry. And Keith Landry losing a whole bunch of yards. So this Utah defense continuing about as tough as they were last season. And if you look at the numbers, compare the numbers, I'll throw those up on Patreon too. The season 20 numbers, they were much lower than what we were in season 19. And it was a big part of our defense. There's a huge first down. Eric Moore for 22 yards for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And for the first time in this ball game, Nebraska gets a very, very big set of yards. And they'll get the first down here in this Cowboys Classic neutral site, kicking off season 21 with the Utah Utes. Marshall wide open. Eric Moore going back to back, and he's down to the 15-yard line. How about that? Well, if you thought Nebraska was going to get run over after that opening drive, I want you to think again. Popcorn might end up on the field in this situation here. Landry, big opening. And he will be a yard short of the end zone, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Oh, boy. Got a priority score alert. Mississippi State and Oklahoma. So we got some conference action there in the SEC. Marshall, incomplete. Nice coverage done there. Iowa and Hawaii. So we kind of talked about it in the Patreon bonus, but we're going to have our 4 main mega conferences. Big 12, Big 10, SEC, ACC. And then the other conferences are going to be one mega conference. There is a option play. Ryan Marshall keeps it himself, quarterback keeper, touchdown, Nebraska. So all the other conferences, Conference USA, Sun Belt, American, they're going to be kind of grouped into one mega conference with like north, south, east, west kind of thing. So we're going to basically have 5 conference champions at the end of the season, which will be the 4 from here, and then the top conference getter from the other major division, if you will. And then we will decide out of those 5 who will go to the college football playoff. So it still stands to remain that a team from one of the big conferences could be left out for one of the other mega conference teams, kind of how this works, if all that were to make sense. So, all right. So you're basically just going to have 5 big conference champions. That's how it's going to work out. Andrew Cross, draw play to Bill Bradford. -1 yard. So the Heisman Trophy candidate, we saw that. He was a big candidate starting off. He hasn't had any big runs quite yet. Nothing doing yet for Bill Bradford. 2nd down and 11. Cross gets drilled. So after that opening pass, it has gone backwards for Andrew Cross and the Utah Utes. How you feeling, SK Money? I don't know. Is he getting nervous already? He wants to see Andrew Cross in arena football. 3rd and 11. Pressure coming, and Cross goes down again. Darren Little, unblocked. Boy, the scheme, and you can't put that on Andrew Cross. Completely unblocked, and Little gets there and drills him down. So another 3 and out. Is this where the 36-game winning streak comes to an end? If it is, I'm blaming SK Money, because he's the one. I was going to pick Auburn, Georgia Tech. He's the one that picked Nebraska. Number 8 versus number 2. Kicking this thing off. This is SK Money's fault. Marshall. That was kind of a screen pass, but a screen pass that was like for a yard or 2. I've never seen something quite like that. Look at that. That was a forward pass screen pass. Ryan Marshall, the one rushing touchdown of the day so far. And Lambert coming in and gets the hit on Marshall and forces that awkward pass into the turf. Incomplete. So 3rd down and 8. Marshall off the target. So the defense for Utah holds. This will bounce into the end zone, touchback. And can this Utah offense get moving? You can see 3 total yards for the Utah offense so far. Fans are getting to their feet, getting antsy here. Play fake from Andrew Cross, and looks like just miscommunication there as it was in the vicinity of his intended receiver, but going way over the head. So 2nd and 10 for the defending back-to-back national champions. 36 wins in a row. They are now up. Oh, here's Bill Bradford with a huge run and a 1st down. They are now... We've talked about this in previous episodes. You'll have to go look in the archives, but we are definitely like top 5 all time for biggest winning streaks in college football. But we are closing in on that Oklahoma record that has stood the test of time. It was like 40, 47, 48 something wins in a row. Let's look this up real quick. College football winning streaks all time. 47 is the record. We are at 36, so we are in the vicinity here. And we've passed up a lot of, like, we've passed up Toledo, and then a lot of the records that are ahead of us are just like from the 1900s, like early days. So Andrew Cross, there we go, and that's a similar play, Lewis Gardner. So we passed Miami, the 34. We passed Toledo. Yale is next. Yale from 1887 and 1890. If we get this victory, we will tie Yale. And then Washington from the 1900s is 40. And then Oklahoma. So we are 4th right now all time. And we will move up to 3rd, passing Yale tying Yale with this. Cross throws an interception. Oh my goodness, the pressure delivered to Andrew Cross and tried to sneak it in. And it was intercepted by the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Now they're going to have solid. So we got to stop the talk about records and all that stuff, because all that is for naught if we don't get going here on offense. So big stop there. Formation. They are not. Wow, I thought that for sure they were going for a running play. Fooled me. Didn't fool the Utah Utes, though. It's okay. 3rd and 11. So I'd say either offense still working out our kinks. Both sides. Marshall pressured, and nice job by Utah. I'm going to get these numbers and names on the next episode written down. 200 getting rowdy. Do I still have a Utah roster sheet? But since we were going full stream here, I didn't have it. Well, there is. I don't know if this will be up to date. First and 10. Play fake, cross, sacked again. Okay, this offensive line's getting me a little worried here. Darren Little, was he even touched it? He was touched, but Little just pushed his way through. Down went Andrew Cross. Well, let's do the slot post. That has been very successful so far. Man, what a week of college football. I'm seeing a lot of FCS teams in action. So this is like the biggest game of the week. Cross got hit again. And for the third time, Lewis Gardner. That's been the play, the slot cross to Lewis Gardner. And that has been all 3 plays of Andrew Cross. Continues to get hit. It's an upset of the year. We're playing number 8, man. There's no upset here. Nebraska, the last team to beat us 36 games ago. And the last time we played a neutral site 10 years ago in Denver, they put 60 points on us. Well, that was one of the biggest beatdowns in TV sports history, was that 60-point loss to the Cornhuskers. So the end of end of quarter 1. I hope this isn't the end of week 1. End of quarter 1 from Jerry's World, the Cowboy kickoff. And it is the Nebraska Cornhuskers 7, the Utah Utes 0. As Andrew Cross, the much maligned, controversial quarterback. He's coming off of back-to-back undefeated seasons. People say he's not a good quarterback, even though he's won 36 consecutive games in a row. And he's coming back for his senior year to get one more national title, finish it out. Could have gone pro, didn't even consider it. 3rd and 9 for the Utes. And Cross again. How many sacks has Andrew Cross had in this first half? The blitz, did not read it, tried to get out of there, went down again. Ooh, boy. I mean, after this, we're smooth sailing. We got I don't know who we're going to play. We got an FCS team next, which we haven't put on our schedule for a long time. But I felt like after doing a neutral site game, which we've done a handful of these over the years. Of course, we did the Nebraska game in Denver, which I mentioned. We did the Battle of the U, Miami and Utah from the Cotton Bowl. We did that before. We've done neutral sites with UCF. We did it in Miami because it was kind of the anniversary of our national championship, the first national title that we won. And then we did a rematch in Denver, which UCF actually beat us. So we've done our neutral site kickoffs before. Second and 7. Marshall as well, I mean, it's kind of been under pressure from this Utah defense. So it's not quite been too one-sided, which is nice. Third and 2. Landry does not make it, so it's 4th and 1. This Utah defense, powerful again. They are going to go for it, guys. Big play of the game, 4th and 1. Nebraska going for it. I formation. And Landry, there was no edge. Big 14-yard carry for the Cornhuskers. I think I see Bag of Donuts in the crowd. Holy smokes. Fake. There's no one even back there for the fake. Out to Nelson. I think Nebraska is in field goal range here. But we had a lot of games like this last season. You know, don't SK Money remembers we had a number of overtime games, a number of come from behind wins that we had to manage. Marshall on the option. Pitches it to Kane, and he doesn't get too far. Only got about 2 yards there. So it's another 3rd down, 3rd and 5. Marshall, first down, and Sullivan was open. Give us to Landry. But if Landry could have bounced to the outside, I think he might have had a clear path to the end zone. I don't think there was decided to stay inside, but I think he was pretty open. Marshall already has 1 rushing touchdown. Now he's got 2. 2 rushing touchdowns for Ryan Marshall and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Well, they're trying to do it up for the Big Ten. You know, in the rankings, we've won 36 in a row, but they ranked us number 2 behind Ohio State. And we beat Ohio State not only in the Fiesta Bowl 2 years ago, but last year in the national championship. So we're 2-0 against Ohio State in recent memory. Committee still put Ohio State number 1, so this is kind of like a Big Ten, Big 12. Who should be number 1 or not? And Nebraska trying to win one for Ohio State and put the winning streak to an end. My goodness, so work to be done here, 14-0 for the Utah Utes. There's a play fake and cross. Tried to get that one out to Lyles again, but nearly picked off. Just 3 of 9 for Andrew Cross so far in this ball game. Look at that. UTSA getting the big L. How about that? Cross out to Brian Baldwin. Good to see Brian Baldwin in the mix here.
That'll bring up 3rd and 4.
Iowa, they're on upset alert against Hawaii out of the Pacific Division of the I called it Conference USA. So 3rd down here, and Andrew Cross out to Gardner. These have been most of the big plays. So for those of you that didn't check out Patreon and didn't see kind of we're borrowing the name Conference USA. We're taking Conference USA because it kind of represents, I think it's the best name. And we kind of just have like a south, a southeast division within this mega conference. Northeast, or maybe just like north-south. Maybe we just do north, south, east, and west, although we have 2 teams out west. So maybe a Pacific and west. So the west can be the Mountain West. Sun Belt can be the south or the east. I don't know. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll put I think we have Hawaii in the Pacific Conference out there. But that would be an upset nonetheless. So Cross had an open man, under-delivers that one. Arm strength has been an issue for Andrew Cross. That is for certain. Third and 14. Quick throw, and he overshoots an open receiver. And it's another punting situation here for the Utah Utes. And if Nebraska goes down and scores on this drive, we could be in for a world of hurt. And that, oh man, our punter's got to go down. He gets hit like that. He gets brushed up on. You got to go down. You got to clutch an ankle. You got to go down. Marshall will take it. Had a bit of an open field in front of him. But a nice stop. Nice touchdown saving stop by Jason Lyles. He's been a big time player for this team for a number of years. 2nd and 8. Marshall pitching out to Landry, and Landry taken down. Lee Anderson. These are a lot of young players that are now, like I said, kind of loaded on seniors. So this is almost like, I kind of feel like our last best shot at maybe breaking this record. And then I feel like, unless I'm mistaken, I feel like that the year after, which is going to be our last, oh my goodness, is going to be the one. That was a massive first down. That's going to be the one where it could be, you know, we suffer a lot depending on what our recruiting class does. But that'll be essentially the end of Utah, for now at least. And the goal will be to move to the new game eventually coming out after doing 2 more years of this. As long as it's good. If it's not good, we can always come back to this. You know, we have our Troy on NCAA 12 and mentioned about maybe going back to playing NCAA 08. So a lot of options. You guys let me know in the comments which one of those you'd like to see. I feel like most people would like to see the new game, but oh my goodness, and the defense burned 21-0, well 20-0, and it's starting to look like that fateful opening contest in Denver from a number of years ago, where we lost 60-20 to this Nebraska team. Oh boy.
The kick is good.
We can make this comeback happen. The thing that's kind of rough is the defense not looking good. Getting burned on a lot of big plays. But this is SK Money. He's the one that said play Nebraska. Make the challenge. We could have coasted. We could have coasted to an easy schedule. But SK wanted us to do it up big. I guess that would have been, you know, what's the incentive of signing a Nebraska? But I suppose it would be to get, you know, payback, even though we'd beaten them. But to, you know, beat Nebraska one more time to get payback from the Denver game. You picked Nebraska, man. This is on you. You signed it. The TB Sports is like, why'd my assistant sign Nebraska? This is not going well right now for this Utah offense. They want us to run it on 3rd and 10. Come on. You got to keep throwing it. We're in Texas. Good SEC game there. Cross. And it's incomplete. Just 5 of 16 for Andrew Cross.
That'll make it 4th and 10.
I don't know, could be the worst, greatest quarterback of all time. A guy that just keeps winning. But the talent level might not quite be there.
Thomas runs it back.
How about these SEC? I guess I didn't change the SEC teams. They're starting off their conference play early, which I guess is fine. I didn't really go in and make it where their conference games start later. I don't know. Who cares about other conferences? Marshall.
Number 12 with the catch.
I thought you could do a challenge. Ooh, you thought, man. I mean, number 2. Shoot, we beat number 1 last year. We beat Arkansas and Ohio State, so you would have thought. But we still got the second half. Got a lot of football. Big ups that can happen. Marshall. Landry stays on his feet. Down to the 20-yard line.
26 yards. First down.
This is going to be SK Money's first, I think, Utah loss. If we end up with a loss. He's never seen such a thing. This is like Coach Shaq. Is Coach Shaq out there?
That is a loss of 1 yard. That'll bring up 2nd and 12. Timeout called on
So
the
we got 1 minute timeout called here. We got out there Bo Pelini or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's done. You lost it, SK Money. The streak. We won't catch Oklahoma. But we gotta be supportive here. We gotta be supportive. We can make this thing happen. We can make the comeback. Big comeback. Comeback on the horizon. 3rd and 14. And Utah will take a timeout. There's Coach TB, the legend himself. You know, oh, they're going to go for it. He's the son, TB Sports Jr. He's the son of TB Sports, who was the coach of the Troy Trojans. Won a couple of national titles with Troy. 4th and 1. They pitch it to Landry, and he gets stuffed. So Utah will get a shot here. 38 seconds, 2 timeouts. But to keep it reasonable here, I'm going to retire in 2 years. I'm retiring from Utah. Who's our new coach going to be? Cross going deep to Newton. Incomplete. We will get the ball to begin the second half. So if we can go down and get some kind of points on the board, that would at least help getting the ball back and kind of doubling up a little bit here. Cross. Again, going deep, looking for Newton on the other side, and it's knocked away. This Nebraska team is no joke. Nebraska and Ohio State, that's going to be the game. 5 of 18 for Andrew Cross. Like any of these plays. We'll do the flanker. Man, we might be giving them the ball back. 27 seconds here. Cross. Sacked again. And a timeout by Nebraska. Darren Little for the 3rd time getting the sack. And at some point, too, you start talking about some quarterback. Maybe we shouldn't have redshirted. I didn't do that. I knew the game was going to do that, but maybe we should have had, what was his name, Mike Washington? Maybe we should have had him not redshirt. We can pull the red shirt off him, can't we? If we feel like we need to go with him. I mean, I'm only going to do 2 more years, so it's like, why not? Marshall. Oh, my goodness, what a hit. Interesting they're not playing for field goal range here, just to go up by 24. TV Sports mascot is here. Luna the cat. Hello, Luna. Throws it into traffic, and it's incomplete. For field goal range, and how about the Utah? So this game could be a lot worse if it wasn't for the Utah defense playing up here. So 4th down, they're just going to chunk it deep. They're going to go for the Hail Mary. And that is how the first half will come to an end. So we got some work to do in the second half, but we can make this thing happen. Marshall, Hail Mary, incomplete. All right, we get the ball to begin the second half, everybody. The second half, if you're watching on YouTube, it comes your way tomorrow. If you're watching on Patreon, or if you're watching on Twitch, hang out, because we got the second half coming your way in just a little bit. 21-0. Don't forget to support the channel, follow along, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the second half. Can we make the comeback and keep the 36-game winning streak alive?